It all began on a rainy morning in the bustling city, the kind of day when everyone was rushing, yet the world felt unusually quiet. Inside a towering glass building sat Ethan Park, a young, sharp, and immensely successful millionaire known for his cold demeanor and perfectionism. He had built his empire through discipline, intelligence, and a relentless pursuit of control. To him, everyone in his office was either a tool or an obstacle, and he rarely wasted time acknowledging anyone outside his social or business circle. That morning, he was waiting impatiently for an important set of legal documents to arrive, a contract worth millions that would finalize a major merger. When the delivery girl finally arrived, she was drenched from the rain, clutching a worn-out delivery bag and slightly out of breath. Her name was Lina, and to Ethan, she looked no different from any other delivery worker, someone invisible, replaceable, and far beneath his world of power suits and luxury. Without even glancing at her face, he muttered, "You're late," in a tone sharp enough to slice through her quiet apology. Lina bowed slightly, handing him the envelope with both hands. She tried to explain that the storm had caused delays, but he interrupted coldly, saying, "Excuses don't deliver results." His words stung, but she stayed composed, offering a small, polite smile before turning to leave. However, as she glanced at the open folder on his desk, her eyes caught something, a clause in the contract that seemed oddly phrased. Though she knew it wasn't her place, the lawyer inside her couldn't stay silent. "Sir," she said hesitantly, "I think there might be a mistake in Section 14. The clause contradicts the liability terms from Section 12. Ethan looked up for the first time, irritation flickering across his face. "And what would a delivery girl know about corporate law?" he said with a smirk. But curiosity got the better of him, and he checked the section she mentioned. To his shock, she was right, a small legal inconsistency that could have cost him millions. For a moment, he was speechless. The arrogance faded, replaced by intrigue. Who was this girl who not only read a legal document in seconds but also understood its depth? As Lina walked away, her calm confidence lingered in the air. Ethan didn't know it yet, but that brief, stormy encounter with a delivery girl was about to change his life, and his heart, forever. After that brief yet unforgettable encounter, Ethan couldn't shake the image of the delivery girl from his mind. He kept replaying the moment she had calmly pointed out a legal flaw that his team of high-paid attorneys had completely overlooked. At first, his ego tried to dismiss it, perhaps it was luck, he thought, or maybe she had seen a similar clause somewhere before. But deep down, something told him it was more than coincidence. The next day, fate intervened once again. A sudden issue arose. One of the company's legal assistants quit right before an important client presentation. In a rush, Ethan went down to the lobby himself to collect some urgent paperwork and found Lina there again, delivering another batch of documents for a different department. Their eyes met, and this time, he didn't look away. "Come with me," he said abruptly. Lina hesitated, unsure why a millionaire CEO would want her assistance. But something in his tone wasn't commanding, it was curious. He led her to his office, handed her a file, and asked, "Can you read this and tell me what's wrong?" For a few minutes, silence filled the room. Ethan watched her eyes move swiftly over the text, her brow furrowing slightly as she absorbed the details. Finally, she looked up and said, "Clause 7 contradicts the confidentiality agreement. If signed this way, it gives the other party rights to disclose your financial data." Ethan's jaw tightened. His own legal department had approved that draft. "How did you see that so quickly?" he asked. Lina replied softly, "I studied law before I had to take this job." There was a flicker of embarrassment in her voice, but also quiet pride. That moment changed everything. Ethan wasn't just impressed, he was humbled. He realized that this delivery girl possessed a sharp, analytical mind that many of his own professionals lacked. When he asked why she wasn't practicing law, she simply said, "Life doesn't always go as planned. My family needed me more than my degree." Something stirred in Ethan, admiration mixed with guilt for how he had treated her. For the first time, he saw beyond her uniform, beyond her struggle. He saw a mind brilliant enough to challenge him. From that day forward, the delivery girl was no longer invisible to him. She had revealed her hidden talent, and unknowingly, awakened something deeper in the man who once believed he could never be surprised. The revelation of Lina's legal insight lingered in Ethan's mind for days. He found himself wondering how someone so intelligent and composed could end up delivering documents for a living. Curiosity got the better of him, and he discreetly asked his assistant to look into her background, not out of suspicion, but genuine intrigue. What he discovered left him speechless. Lina Kim had graduated top of her class from one of the most prestigious law universities in the country. Her professors described her as a natural strategist, a born negotiator, and a prodigy in legal interpretation. She was even offered an internship at a top corporate firm. But just before graduation, tragedy struck. Her father's small business collapsed after being sued by a powerful corporation. With no money left, Lina abandoned her dreams of becoming a lawyer and started working any job she could find to support her sick mother and younger brother. Life had been unkind, but she never allowed bitterness to consume her. She carried herself with quiet dignity, finding small joys in helping others and staying hopeful that one day, her skills would be recognized again. Delivering documents might not have been her dream, but it kept food on the table, and it kept her close to the legal world she loved. When Ethan learned all this, something inside him shifted. For years, he had believed that wealth and power were the ultimate proof of success. But here was a woman who had lost everything and still carried herself with grace, integrity, and intelligence, traits that couldn't be bought. He saw in her a reflection of something he had lost long ago, purpose. Their paths crossed again when Ethan's company faced a legal crisis. A rival firm had accused them of breaching a contract, and the upcoming case threatened millions in losses. During an internal meeting, Ethan mentioned Lina's name, to the surprise of his executives. "Bring her in," he said firmly. "I trust her judgment." The board members were skeptical. "A delivery girl? Are you serious?" one of them scoffed. But Ethan's expression left no room for debate. When Lina was called to the office, she was shocked but determined. Standing in front of a room full of executives in expensive suits, she remained poised and professional. Little did they know, this was the beginning of a twist of fate, where the once overlooked delivery girl would become the very person to defend the millionaire's empire. It was destiny's way of reminding them both, talent cannot be hidden forever. What began as a professional connection soon grew into something much deeper. After Lina helped Ethan identify critical flaws in his company's legal documents, he officially brought her on as a legal consultant, despite her protests that she didn't deserve the title. "You've earned it," he told her firmly. "Titles don't make people capable, skills do." From that moment, Ethan and Lina began working side by side. Every meeting, every late-night strategy session, and every brainstorming discussion revealed more layers of who they were, and more reasons for their growing admiration for each other. Ethan was used to people agreeing with him, flattering him, and avoiding confrontation. But Lina was different. She was respectful yet fearless, never hesitating to challenge his opinions when she believed he was wrong. At first, he found it infuriating. But soon, he found it refreshing. Her honesty grounded him, her intelligence inspired him, and her kindness softened the walls he had built around himself for years. For Lina, it was equally confusing. She had promised herself never to get emotionally involved at work, especially with someone like Ethan, a man born into privilege, used to control, and far removed from her world. Yet, she couldn't deny that beneath his cold exterior was a man who genuinely cared once he learned to listen. He started noticing small details, how she always brought extra coffee for the tired interns, how she treated everyone equally, and how she never sought attention for her brilliance. The turning point came one night when they were preparing for an urgent court case. The office was quiet except for the sound of rain tapping against the windows, much like the day they first met. Lina stayed late to finish the evidence summary, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. Ethan walked in, silently placed his coat over her shoulders, and said softly, "You've done more for this company than anyone else ever has." Their eyes met, and for a moment, words failed them both. It wasn't about power, position, or wealth anymore, it was about respect that had transformed into affection, and affection that was quietly turning into love. From then on, their bond deepened in unspoken ways. They began to understand each other's silences, support each other's burdens, and slowly, Ethan's once lonely world began to feel warm again, all because of the girl he had once underestimated. The culmination of Ethan and Lina's story was nothing short of remarkable. What had started as a chance encounter between a millionaire and a delivery girl had blossomed into a partnership that would change both their lives forever. Lina, once overlooked and underestimated, now had the opportunity to prove herself on a grand stage, not just professionally, but personally as well. The crisis that had first brought them together escalated quickly. A rival company filed a lawsuit claiming that Ethan's business had breached a critical contract. If the case went against them, the company could lose millions, and Ethan's reputation, carefully built over years, could be irreparably damaged. But this time, he wasn't facing it alone. Lina had meticulously prepared their defense, examining every clause, anticipating every legal maneuver, and developing a strategy that would leave no room for error. In the courtroom, she was a force to be reckoned with. Her calm demeanor, sharp reasoning, and persuasive arguments captivated the judge and jury alike. She pointed out inconsistencies in the opposing firm's claims and presented evidence that clearly favored Ethan's company. Witnesses who doubted her at first were soon won over by her confidence and expertise. By the end of the trial, it was undeniable, Lina had not only saved the company from a massive financial loss but had also elevated its credibility and strengthened Ethan's empire. For Ethan, witnessing Lina's triumph was transformative. He realized that true success was not measured by wealth alone but by integrity, intelligence, and resilience. He had underestimated her at first, assuming her position in life reflected her abilities. But Lina had proven that circumstances do not define talent, determination and brilliance do. Beyond the courtroom, their personal bond deepened. Ethan's admiration turned into love, not just for her intelligence but for her heart, courage, and unwavering dedication. He recognized that the woman who had once delivered papers in the rain was now an equal partner in every sense, a legal genius, a strategic mind, and the love of his life. Lina, too, felt a sense of validation and empowerment. Her hardships, sacrifices, and perseverance had led her to this pivotal moment, where she could finally showcase her skills and gain the recognition she deserved. The delivery girl who had once been underestimated had transformed into a figure of strength and inspiration. In the end, their story was one of transformation and triumph, a tale of talent being discovered against all odds, of love growing from respect, and of lives forever changed by recognizing the potential in someone others had overlooked. It was a reminder that brilliance can emerge from the most unexpected places, and sometimes, the greatest victories come not just from winning battles, but from finding someone who believes in you.